What time is it?
I think it's pretty close to 9. Should we start?
I think we could maybe start. Are we there yet?
Yeah. Okay, everybody. I hope you have all had a good morning, and we welcome you to our third webinar on the Make a Buzz series. Today, we're going to focus on content. So I am Susanna Juusti, the Vice President of Customer Experience here in IDBBN. I have worked over 25 years with different customer accounts, oversee our customer services, and also do a lot of strategic planning with our customers. So our expert today on content is Ville Murtojärvi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the head of creative at IDBBN. I've been in the business for slightly over 15 years, and I've gained most of my experience working in business to business with customers like these here, which I'm super happy and proud to call our clients at IDBBN. And today I'm going to be showing some examples done together with these wonderful names. And of course, I have a hidden agenda here to showcase our team's work and the variety of things we are capable of producing. But that's just a secondary goal. And the primary is to talk about the beauty of content in content marketing.
Super. So today's agenda, we're going to discuss 4 key topics. One of them being what's the difference between inbound and content marketing. Then we talk a lot about the funnel, the top, middle, and bottom funnel content, and show you plenty of samples on that. Then Ville is going to give you some tips on how to create good and effective content on a budget. And finally, we end up with the question, do creativity and metrics fit into the same process? That's going to take about 30 minutes, and we welcome any questions from you, and we'll have the last 10 minutes to answer those, and you're welcome to challenge us with your ideas. So let's get to the first point. What is the difference between inbound and content marketing? In marketing, like in any discipline, new terminology is coming up constantly. So recently, we have been working increasingly with content marketing as well as the inbound. Sometimes these two get confused, however. So how would you, Ville, define these two?
Yeah, it's those marketing people with all their confusing buzzwords that change all the time. In my book, here's how it goes. Content marketing is like a strategic marketing approach that focuses on both creating and distributing content that is valuable, relevant, and consistent. And it has a goal to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately also the goal to drive profitable customer action. But on the other hand, inbound is a lot more than just content marketing. It's like an umbrella that covers it. And inbound, you can see it as a set of tools and processes that work together and match the way that business to business companies market with the way people buy today. And inbound also takes advantage of people's behavior so that traffic is generated, relationships are formed, leads are gained, and in the end, the customers are happy and delighted. And it usually starts with somebody Googling something they are interested in. But yeah, to put it simply, I think the main difference is that content marketing is just a small part of inbound marketing.
Well, some samples there that you gave, Ville, really talk about the funnel, about from attraction to making desire, making people interested. And one of the topics in content marketing really is the funnel and the customer journey. So in your opinion, how is good content created for top, middle, and bottom funnel? And can you actually tell us a little bit about what these are?
Yeah, I can. I created a few slides to go through this part. But let's start by saying it's not like you just create a piece of content and just put it out in some random channel and just hope that somebody sees it, because that approach is guaranteed to fail in today's digital channel jungle, which is like super saturated. You need to do a lot of background work there to get results, to create the right kind of content, and also You need to put it out in the right channels at the right time and place in the customer's journey to become your client. And I'm sure this might be basic stuff for a lot of you guys, but I'll just go through it quickly. And here are the basic steps of what you need to do first. Number one, you need to know your audience. You need to define the buyer personas. You have to focus on their wants and their needs. You need to define interesting themes and topics under them. Number two, you have to meet your audience's needs in different stages. You need to map out and follow through the customer journey. And you need to have a good content mix. You need to cover all the aspects, emotional, educational. You need to convince them, you need to inspire them and use it with different content. And of course, you need to cover all the touch points that the customer has on the journey. And number three, you have to know your tone of voice and the channels. You have to walk hand in hand with brand guides. Obviously, keep the tone of voice continuous and optimize the formats for different channels. They might have algorithms that are a bit tricky. Some prefer video, some prefer something else. And also you have to remember mobile first in today's world. And maybe the most important thing there is that whatever you do, you need to ensure the quality is high. Number four here, of course, then you need to set your goals and KPIs, and then you need to follow them through. You actually need to analyze, see how it's going, learn, optimize, change it if it doesn't work, A/B test, scratch the piece that doesn't work, and of course you need to give it time. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And I think the most important bit of the slide, which I didn't write here, is that if you don't know how to do these steps, just contact us and let's have a workshop. We have plenty of qualified experts here to help you out with this. Okay, and let's move forward to the next slide. Before I'm going to show you any examples, here's a quick rundown on what are the words TOFU, MIFU, and BOFU. And this is what we talk about a lot. And I actually see that occasionally it confuses people. So I'm just going to take a quick opportunity here to clarify this first. And here you can see a picture of a funnel that explains it. Turn 90 degrees so it points down. And the borders are a bit vague there, but they are pretty much the same as the familiar stages. Top funnel is reach and awareness. Middle funnel is interest and consideration. And BOFU, bottom funnel, that's the testing and purchase stage. And under those you can see layer for customer engagement or loyalty, which is not really BOFU anymore. It's more like keeping customer engaged and informed with the satisfaction surveys and newsletters and offers and such. Definitely inbound, but not content anymore. So now we have the basics covered and are ready to dive deeper.
Well, this is all really interesting, and you know, Ville, how much I love different models and doing things the right way. And also at this point, I'd like to remind you that you're welcome to put your questions into the YouTube chat. We're going to move into some samples that Ville is going to show you from the creative department's work that fit into these different parts of the funnel.
Yeah, let's get to the business. I have gathered a few examples of content from each stage. And let's go through them one at a time. And first up here is TOFU. Here's in a nutshell what kind of content works here. Lighter content. You don't really sell a product here yet. You just try to draw the target audience to you and increase your brand awareness, and you try to entertain or teach with that content. And you often have a secondary goal as well, to turn what visitors you might have into marketing qualified leads, so that you can keep up the relationship and keep it alive once they leave your site. Examples for this stage: tests, videos, games, infographics, articles about wider topics. Here's a real life example. It's an article about intelligent housing estates we did for Schneider Electric for a local Finnish campaign, and we used this in native marketing in a Finnish media called Kauppalehti, which is a business-focused channel similar to The Economist or Business Insider. And as per usual in native, the article subject here, it should be of interest only to the relevant target group, which here was real estate facilitators and managers, because you want to reduce unwanted traffic there. What's good about this one is it's short, it's very mobile friendly and thought invoking, and it has links to get deeper into the funnel. And I made some hashtags for each example that I'm going to show that sort of explain it quickly. So no selling here yet in this article, just discussion on the topic. Links to go further if this kind of thing interests you. Next up, I have another example, and this is an online test. And tests and surveys, they are very good top funnel content as long as they are simple to take and give relevant and useful information. Not just something silly like, oh, what is your fantasy superpower, or who will you be in Game of Thrones, or so on. We are talking to experts, not fishing for information here. And this test we did for F-Secure a while back. It's a cybersecurity stress test. And this one delivers a downloadable report on which areas you are strong and which areas need improving. And this kind of content, when it's deep enough, it's good enough to be also to be gated content, which means asking back for some information in return for this valuable piece of info, which usually is your email address. And I have a third example of top funnel content here. Here we have short videos. We did these for Fujitsu, and they actually they are short, and the video format is ad-like, but they are customer cases, and they focused on short stories about the end users, and told it with voiceover, which of course sadly is not audible here because I'm talking. And this was designed to target emotions, and the series, it has both funny and moving cases. And good things about these are it's bite-sized, it's less than 1 minute. It focused on the key message instead of detail. And also it's not like super usual to have customer cases as top funnel content, so it differentiates a little from the others. Right.
Great points. And to me, it looks like thought leadership with interesting topics with an emotional twist as something to remember here. And it goes without saying that everything needs to be mobile friendly. And the more data you are able to collect here in this stage, the better fit will your marketing be in the next nurturing steps. But let's move on to the middle part of the funnel.
Yes, moving on to the middle funnel. At this stage, we have the audience's interests, and they want to know more. And this is where we offer high value content to narrow their search, and we try to build trust, and we try to nurture them further into the funnel to eventually become something that we call a sales qualified lead. And quick examples for this are like quick guides, expert articles that delve a bit deeper, and expert blog posts, narrower topics, interviews, how-to videos, and also this webinar is an example. And if you go from theory to practice here, here's an example of good middle funnel content we made for Kone. It's an elevator guidebook for architects we did together with architects. It was like a 12 pages long, if I remember correctly, packed with research information on what architects might need. And as extra bonus, text was kept really short, and it had a lot of descriptive images there. Also, it was optimized for screen view, easy to navigate. It was interactive, checklists to fill and print. And another example of this, I brought another case for Schneider Electric. Again, it's a series of how-to videos on their electric sockets and their benefits, and we sort of showcased these in action, and we used a real electrician there as the star instead of some actor. He knew what he was talking about, and it really shows there. And this kind of content is good evergreen content. This will stay relevant for a long time. It was also quite short. We used some humor there. It's sure to stick in mind, and also this kind of content works in multiple channels.
So here one can conclude that the middle funnel is all about answering the persona's needs and convincing that our solutions are fit for them. Well, as the amount of information grows, the focus should be put into making it easily navigable, interactive, and user-friendly in different channels. The middle funnel really is the key to convert our visitors to leads. So, what else do we need in this process before we get the customer?
All right, now we reach the bottom of the barrel, and at this stage we have the prospect like super interested and hot, and probably they have done a lot of research on competitors as well, and now they're looking for the product information, and now we have sort of prove our product is the best, and this is where the traditional business-to-business material comes in handy. You probably have tons of material for this stage. I'll just highlight a couple ones here quickly. We did a quick comparison sheet for Outokumpu. That's like typical bottom funnel content. It was about strength versus corrosion, comparing between different steel grades. Short white paper with super heavy concrete facts in an easy to digest format, using infographics and minimal amount of text there. And then as another example, I have a piece we did for Kone. It was a white paper meant to take with you to housing association meetings actually. It was aimed at facility managers and house owner associations. It was about smart buildings and smart cities, and it had lots of information just packed in one sheet you can take with you. Still light, although it is very, very late stage content.
So it's clear that the amount of information and details as we work our way down the funnel increases. In many B2B companies, there's actually plenty of bottom funnel material, and just the journey to make that interesting and desired is missing. So next, we will share an example of the full funnel with you.
Yes, that was not all. There's more. This is like super recent. It actually this is an ongoing campaign, and it has a very interesting and very niche product. It's a repair paint specifically for wind turbine painting, and it only needs like one coat instead of the competitors which need three coats. Right.
Well, I've been lucky enough to be with the Technos case from the beginning, and we in fact started with the content strategy workshops to define the buyer personas, their areas of interest, messaging, and designing the content to actually fill up the funnel. The strategic work was then briefed to Ville's creative team to work on the content and designing the customer journey to convert the unknown page visitors to sales qualified leads. But I'll let Ville show you the content as well as some results of the campaign.
Yep, this was done, like you said, by the book, by the process. Started with the workshops you did, define target audiences, personas, and themes and topics, and customer journeys and channels and everything. And so very much by the book case here. And let's have a look at the content. We had all the content here hosted in a specific landing page, so it was all neatly tied up in one page. But for the top funnel here, we had a short infographic that still managed to show the USP and all the relevant numbers for the product. We also had a super short article, up to 40% material cost savings, and then we had a demo video about the Technoblade Reaper 9000. That's the name of the product. And for the middle funnel, we got a little deeper there. We had a customer case you could actually download as well. It was quite detailed. And then we had another short article. And when I say short, I really mean short because that's actually the size. All of the article is there, you can see it. So 2 paragraphs and one headline and a picture. Right, and in the bottom funnel, there we had the heavy hitters. There we had like detailed test results you could download if you gave your email. And then we have had a detailed application guide, and then we had an ebook with some product information there. And I have a result page here, a couple of screenshots from the customer dashboard, and it shows how's it going, and it's quite surprising because I'll just sum it up. There's bounce rate, and then there's average time on page from paid Google traffic and from other traffic sources. And the thing about this is it's like the target group stays on the page for a very, very long time, and the bounce rate is like ridiculously low. I don't think I have ever seen so low bounce rates, 26.60 or 20%. So it's clearly hitting the right group, and they clearly are interested, and they spend a lot of time there.
And actually, the cherry on the cake is the thanks from the sales that we are getting for the sales lead that the inbound program is producing. Technos has been contacted from companies around the world, and one could say that we are truly making a buzz here.
Yay!
So,
Right.
the one topic to address here is money, and I think some of you might have been waiting for this. And now we want to hear your thoughts, Ville, on how to create good content on the budget.
Yep, this is a tough one. really tough one. I seriously cannot answer. Just kidding. I can say it's a bit tricky to do it cheap, though. I mean, we're talking about relevancy and quality with a low budget. It doesn't really sound like a good equation, but if you think about it, there are some things you can try. First, you can try to repurpose. Most business companies have plenty of stuff that could be repurposed. It's like I'm talking about bottom of the funnel content that doesn't work as top of the funnel as such, but with a little tweak, and if you chop it up in the little light pieces, it might work. It could have little bits that might work. You could also have a slide set that might be useful as a basic storyboard for a simple animation too, or something like that. And you can, whatever budget you have, you can use to create evergreen and reusable content like those how-to videos. Blogging is quite budget friendly, and if you accept guest posts from experts from other companies, then it's even more budget friendly maybe. And better yet, if you have an extrovert in the company, also an expert, you can have them step out of their comfort zone and do some video blogging, whatever that. How do you say that? Yeah. Number 4 I have there in my list is user-generated content. You could provide a vehicle there. It could be something as simple as just have a picture contest, and then suddenly you have tons of content from the customers, from the users. And the final thing there is whatever budget you have, just put it in quality instead of quantity in whatever you do. Right, that's my thoughts about budget.
So what you do it well.
Yes.
The final topic in our agenda today is how do creativity fit with the metrics and analytics. I think this has been an ongoing discussion in a lot of the advertising agencies and communication people about how much money, how much do we measure things. So do you feel, Ville, that the attitude amongst your team has changed on this topic about measuring?
Yeah, I think it has changed on my team, and I think for a long time in the creative side, in all of the creative side, not just my team, I think there's been some kind of resistance to like analytics and actually MarTech, and it's often seen solely as a creativity killer or setting boundaries or limits, or you hear some dissing of it quite often. I don't see why, and we don't see why, because I think it's mostly due to people not understanding what actually is measured. And I remember the old times when you got nothing to show if a campaign was successful or not. So I see this as something that we have always asked for. So now that we have it, we shouldn't be afraid of it. Now we can analyze and see what actually works. And in my opinion, metrics help creatives a lot. I got 3 points here. You get real data to back up your creative decisions. Say goodbye to guessing and hunches. We have all been here. Let's put away that banner because I don't like the color or the font or the image or the word, or I'm not sure if that will work. Let's ask the messenger or somebody else who's not relevant at all. And I don't even want to try that because we have never done it before. If you have the facts to prove that it works, you have a tool to back you up. Also helps you to get on the right track faster. You can save time. You can save both the customer's nerves and your own nerves. You can save money. Also, you don't have to make something up as results because nobody in the past nobody knew for sure. Now you actually get actual measurable results. Yay! I like metrics.
Well, that's good to know because I love metrics, and
Yeah.
that's all when you're planning something, you can improve things unless you know how well it went in the first place. Which brings us to our point that we really would like to get your feedback and get some metrics on how we did this morning. So was this as good for you as it was for us? So we welcome all your feedback in eloqua.idbbn.fi/feedback, and please let us know what you want us to improve, and also if you have some other topics that you would like us to have next on the series. Now we're going to move into the questions and answers that you have been sending us. So let's ask Tanya here. Do we have any questions?
So, good morning, everybody. Right now we have no questions, but let's give you a few minutes time to answer or to write your questions down. So, let's wait a little bit because you have been talking so much about the topic that maybe it takes some time to write down those questions. So let's just wait a few minutes.
Okay, while you're gathering your thoughts, I think we can talk a little bit about the planning process of the personas and the journeys. Do you feel, Ville, that it's different to start your campaign planning when you actually have all the basics set into the books, instead of just getting the brief from the customer who says what they think is the right thing?
So what's the question? Is there a difference? Yes,
Yes.
there is a difference, huge difference, and it helps a lot to have to grasp who are you doing this for, and what they might actually be interested in. I mean, otherwise you just start from scratch, which is not a good idea. No.
Well, we have Tommy here who's asking which part of the funnel should you use these webinars for, and thank you, Tommy, for your compliment that this was good. I think Ville mentioned webinars in one part of the funnel. What was that?
Yes, middle funnel. Yeah, definitely, depending on the topic, of course. But that usually you have somebody interested enough to join your webinar. So definitely middle funnel.
And there's also more information in it than in just an infograph or something.
Yeah.
But you do need some demand generation to bring the people into your webinar. So there has to be stuff that happens actually above the top funnel content as well, which is the blogging and the Google and the search engine marketings and all of that, which is another discipline that needs to take in place so that we actually can get some people to join us on these. Okay, another one what we get is, well, thank you for your compliment for the great webinar. So somebody says, we're using an online platform for ebooks and guides. What is your opinion of using these compared to downloadable PDFs?
Well, I have an opinion. I mean, mobile friendly, those probably are better, the platforms, but you have to, of course, be sure that it can be optimized for the search engine as well. PDFs, you can do that to some extent, depending on the content. Without knowing what platform you're talking about, they might be better. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit on the other hand and on the other hand. You have to consider all the aspects there.
I think also that when you have a lot of people searching and going through stuff on a mobile, it's easier when you can actually just download stuff or get the link to your email, that you can get back to it once you're on your computer, because
Yes.
on your smartphone you really don't want to start looking into a big PDF.
Yes.
And going through 160 pages.
So that's exactly how the platform might be better than the PDF.
Okay, another question we have here is, do you have any views on monetizing content? Which I think what you mean by is, do we have views of selling what you have, selling the content itself? I hope that was what you meant. we really haven't thought about that, but I
Mhm.
think about content, what Ville said before is how you can share your content with somebody else. Because instead of trying to make everything from scratch yourself, you might want to share something with another one that is complementary to the business of what you're doing.
Right. Kevin Bacon is asking, is there a difference in different phases of the funnel? Should you put more effort in top funnel or are they all as important? Yeah, top funnel is important to get somebody there, but then you have to prove your points and make them customers. So
But I think also this is a strategic question that you need to think of what you're trying to accomplish and what your objectives are. If you don't have a lot of traffic to your website and you don't have leads, you have to invest into the top funnel to get some people into your
yeah.
funnel that you can nurture them into
Yeah.
the leads. If you have a lot of people stuck in the middle funnel that they came, but you haven't done anything relevant for them and you can't really convert them to the next stage, then you have to invest into the
Yes.
mid funnel or the bottom funnel.
So it sort of depends where you are. as a
Yeah,
company,
so
yeah.
you need to think about your objectives, you need to think about your goals first, and then put your focus on the right part of the funnel. So there's no one answer to everybody. Oh, the monetizing question, there's a question about, especially from the view that some audiences might get it free and some could pay for it. We haven't yet done anything that you need to pay for
No,
as far as...
I would say give your best content for free, but yeah.
Well, of course, if you're in a business of doing courses or doing something, you might want to get some money for your content. But in most B2B
Business to
companies,
business, yeah.
they really want to share the information to
Yeah.
get the leads, because the end result might be selling a machine that's worth 1.5 million. So
Okay, should all your content be gated? No, it shouldn't. You should give away a lot of content free, just a really like relevant and interesting things should be gated. How do you decide which content? Oh, I think I answered that already. Did I?
well, I think a good rule of thumb is also that anything that advertises or markets your company and your services should be free. The things that give other information, such as surveys, or if you take a test tool and compare it to others,
Yeah.
or something that has thought leadership information about the industry itself, that can be something that's gated. But very few companies want to gate their corporate brochure or their videos because they want as many people as possible to see them.
Right.
Well, we want to thank you for all of your questions. If something comes up, you're of course welcome to send them afterwards as well. And our next webinar on this series will be on the 13th of November, and that's on email deliverability, which is quite a key topic in thinking about how are you actually moving and nurturing these leads that you gain on the top funnel further down the funnel to the bottom. We have some additional information links here where you can find things such as the recording of this webinar, and some people from our business development team that you're welcome to email or call Matti and Henrik, who will be happy to come and visit you and tell you more about what we do here in IDBBN, or just call them and chat with them about the topic that we have been talking about on this webinar.
Right. Thank you.
I think we're going to tune out now with Ville, and have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.